And I continue to be amazed at the difference of going and seeing people who make things with their hands. Now, this happens in America. There's plenty of people who cook and plenty of people who take great pride and artistry in their cooking. And it's not just that. I went out this morning and was early for an appointment at the clinic. And apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently on on Tuesdays, they set up a vendor mall down by the clinic. So I went walking around. And a guy came out, businessman, and he convinced me to buy some things for the family. And actually, one of these is for me, but in a way, it's also for the family. And no, I'm not going to tell you what it is because they don't have these yet. But he showed me a video of him making these things. And this is what sold me. Because anyone can come along and say it's handcrafted and it's made in Mexico and, who knows. But he showed me videos of his shop and his store and then him making these items. Now, I can't do that. God did not gift me in the way of making things. I probably couldn't fashion a box. Like this box, I probably couldn't fashion. But there are people who can. But this in the United States of America is starting to become, it's not just a lost art or trade. It's a lost way of being. Making things is a way of being. I can remember when I did do construction, even though seriously, I cannot build a stinking thing. I actually took pride for many years in driving by the apartment buildings, and all I did was dug the ditches. That's all I could do. But I remember taking girlfriends by and male friends by and saying, yeah, I built those, right? And I said, yeah, I dug the ditches. But people who can legitimately build things can step back and look at a world that they have made fundamentally better for other people. And the change in the United States, this massive, massive change of, we're all going to be white collar and we're all going to code, et cetera. And yeah, I know coding is sort of building a thing and hardware is sort of building a thing, but it doesn't really get down to taking your hands and hammering together the elements God created. Mike Rowe, of course, has done a brilliant job of making work interesting again, or you might say making it sexy again. He spoke with Moms for Liberty about a trend he's seeing, which is deeply disturbing.
It's a horror story, but it's important to read because it's true. And the stat that sticks with me and worries me today is 7.2 million able-bodied men today in their prime working years are not only unemployed, they're affirmatively...
Is this just in the United States?
Yes.
7.2 million?
7.2 million. This number has never existed in peacetime before.
Yeah.
But right now, 7.2 million men officially not even looking. Now, that's bad, but what's worse is the answer to the question of, well, what are they doing? Are they volunteering with the JCs, the Kiwanis Club, the Lions Club, the Boy Scouts, Skills USA, 4-H? Are they involved with their church? 2,000 hours a year, on average, on screens.
And look what the world is telling many of these young men. 2,000 hours a year on screens. They're telling them, hey, you're an e-athlete. You play in esports. No, you don't. If you're not putting your hands on an implement, and I know a video game handle is an implement or whatever you call the thing that you hold in video games. It's not a football. You're not catching a football. You are not running on a football field. You are not tackling people. You are not making plays. You're not making baskets. You're not wrestling. You're not fighting. You're playing a video game. But the numbers around tradesmen in the United States, according to Mike Rowe, there are, for every 5 tradespeople who retire, only 2 replace them. Now, I know that the smartest people in the world, like Janet Yellen, who's been wrong about every significant thing in our economy and everything she's ever done as an economist to us, has destroyed or got us on the path to destruction. I know they don't like these sorts of jobs because in their mind, everybody wants to be them sitting in a chair and being part of a laptop class. And then there's people like me, dang it, I wish I could build things. God gave us all these elements. He gave us a desire to take these elements and to combine them into things useful, things that are beautiful, things that last. They don't last like the kingdom of heaven, but we are robbing young men of something innate in many young men, and that is the desire to build. Now, where I live in North Idaho, it's very, very common for young men to want to go into HVAC, heating and air conditioning, etc. They want to go be plumbers. They want to go work in construction trades, and God bless them for that. They want to build. But I'll tell you something very common with those young men. There's a commonality. They also want to build families. I've noticed that the young men who are pursuing those trades, and those trades are going to pay well, they're also pursuing the building of family, intentional building of family. I know young men who are 23 and 24 years old who have spent their lives learning how to be men. Now they are men, and they're learning how to raise families, how to build families. We're all called to be fruitful and multiply. Some of us are not gifted with kids. It's not our gifting, and it's not something that the Lord intends for us. Most of us are, and most of us He does expect to have kids. Just look at the data. But the building of things, when people can take their children out to a housing development they built, or art they've created, or food they've cooked, they are showing their kids how they took the elements God gave us, the common blessings, and didn't just build something, but also glorified God. Building well done always glorifies the ultimate maker, because we didn't make any of the elements. And back to these mystery gifts. Yeah, there's something in relation to building the kingdom in there. God bless the people who build.